Hi everybody, my name is Sridhar and I write about Genesis and WordPress at my website sridharkatakam.com. I want to show you how I go about implementing one of the tutorials in my website, as well as actually how to make changes in it and extend it beyond what you can do with it. So the tutorial that I'm talking about is this one, how to set up an animated search form in Genesis. So the idea is to display the magnifying glass search icon here like this, which when clicked is gonna show the search form in a smooth animated manner like this. You can watch the video here to get an idea of how it's supposed to work. The main thing here is that this particular menu is supposed to be the primary navigation menu. But in this particular example, what I wanna do is basically start with creating a new site and then just show you how we can implement this tutorial. But instead of using a custom menu which is assigned to the primary navigation location, we're going to deal with the case where you have the custom menu in header right widget area, and then uh, we are going to add this particular search icon to the right. Alright, so here I'm using desktop server and I'm gonna create a new site. I'll just call this Genesis Camp, and I have already created a blueprint called Fresh Genesis, in which Genesis and Genesis child theme will be set up with the Genesis sample as the active theme. So I can click on that and you can see that we have a blank Genesis website. Alright, so if you go into appearance and menus and go to manage locations, you can see that primary navigation menu location, this particular menu is assigned to that location, and that's how we are getting this menu appear here. But anyway, let's go ahead and go to the appearance widgets, and in the header right, I'm gonna drag a custom menu, and then I'm gonna select the primary navigation. Okay, save it, come back here and reload. So now we have got the same menu appearing here, but instead of using the primary navigation location, we are just using a custom menu widget. Okay, so let's go here, and I'm gonna just open this up in a new window so I can easily switch back and forth. Okay, so um, I'm gonna go inside the Genesis Camp website folder. I'm gonna drag it into Sublime Text so that I can basically easily open the files and make changes in. Okay, so the first step it says is to add this code in a file called global.js inside a JS directory under the child theme. So I'm gonna go inside the child theme folder, and I can see there's no JS folder. So I'm gonna create that folder, all right? And then I'm gonna click on view raw and then save it into the JS folder location. That's done. And then the next thing is to add this particular code in child themes functions.php. So I'm gonna copy that and then go inside functions.php and paste like that. Okay, and one thing, if you this is a small thing, it really does not make much of a difference, but get underscore blog info style sheet directory can better be replaced by get style sheet directory URL. Okay, so the previous function is nothing but uh, is just a wrapper which calls this actual function. So we might as well just use this directly. Okay, and if you notice this particular code, what this code does is it says that locate the primary navigation menu and then add this particular uh, magnifying icon glass, which brings up the search form in an animated layer. But since we are not using the primary navigation location, we need to find a way to add this particular piece of code um, right next to the right next to this particular custom menu. So since this is PHP code, we cannot well, the PHP code is here, all right? So since this is PHP code, we can't just use a text widget. That's not going to work. So what we can do is we can go to plugins, add a new one, do a search for PHP widget. Okay, there is one by Auto. You can click install to install it and activate it. All right. So now when we go to appearance and widgets, I'm gonna drag a uh, PHP code widget below the custom menu. I'm gonna put the PHP opening tag and then close the PHP tag. And then we have this entire code that I want to show. So we just use echo like that. Save it. Now when I come here and reload, so it's gonna, oh, so yeah, we got the search form appearing here, uh, but we also have the search form appearing here in the primary navigation because this code is still present. So I can just get rid of this, save it, come back, reload. Okay, so now we have that. Let's proceed with the rest of the tutorial. So the next step is to add this entire code in style.css. So I'm going to click on view raw, copy the code, and then open up style.css, and then do a search for media. Typically, I just put my custom code above the media queries section like that. Okay. And since we are not using the nav primary genesis nav menu, we are basically having the search inside the header right? So what we can do is I'm going to select that and then press Command D so that it also selects the next occurrence of that particular selected string. And then I'm going to replace this with site header. So this site hyphen header is basically the CSS selector that identifies the site header. Okay, so I'm going to save it, come back here and reload. Okay, so now we have got the magnifying glass here, and when I click, it looks messy. So something is going on here. So what I can do is I can inspect that and see what's going on here. So that is that particular search div. Inside that is a form, and as you can see the width is 50%. So we need to get rid of that so that the form input box extends to the full available width. So this is appearing in line 657. So I'm gonna go jump to line 657 and comment that out. Okay, so I come back here, reload. Nope, still not doing it. So yeah, you can see that the search form has right float. So that is in line 651. So I can just basically comment that out. All right, so now you can see that it's looking good. Now the only thing that we need to do is to make it appear to the right side of contact. So what we can do is, yeah, So what we can do is basically inside the site header widget area, you can see that there are two widgets. The first is this custom menu. The second is the PHP widget. So we can float both these entities to the left so that uh, they appear one, horizontally next to each other. So let me just go to this location, site header widget area, which is in line 925. So 925. Okay, so here, but width 800 pixels. I do not know why it is present. It doesn't make sense to me, so I'm just gonna comment it out, and I'm gonna copy that and say float left like that. So I've just basically floated the custom menu widget as well as and the PHP widget uh, left so that they appear next to each other like that. Now see, let's see. So you can see that this particular widget has about 76 pixels height, and the way that it is getting that is because of the padding, the vertical padding for the Genesis nav menu A, which is 30 pixels and 24 pixels. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to go inside this particular widget, and you can see that it has this A, which is LIA icon search in line 1353. So I'm going to jump to that line and then add that padding so that it is uniform. Okay. Now we need to give some top margin for this particular entity so that it is pushed from the top in line with the custom menu uh, icons, I mean custom menu items. So what I can do is I can look for the selector. In this case, it's the site header search, line 1338. So here I can give a top margin. So I can just type margin top of say 10 pixels, and I can press the up arrow key to increase that until it appears in line. So 23 pixels looks okay to me. So let's make it 23. Right, save it, reload. Okay, so it's like that. I'm not really happy with the way that the spacing is between the last menu item contact and the icon. So we can actually give it some left margin, so it's spaced better. So I can again just margin left, let's say 10 pixels, 16, 20. Yeah, I think that looks okay. So margin left of 20. Okay, reload. So click on that and it appears here. Do a search and it works. Okay. So now we got this working in desktops. We need to make sure that this also works in responsive views like tablets and mobiles. So for that, I usually at this point of time jump to Firefox, send this to Firefox like that. I can press Command Alt M to bring up the responsive design view in Firefox. So just start with something like 1250, 1280 pixels and then keep reducing the width. That's fine. Okay, so at 9 960 961 is all right. So at 960 you can see that this thing is not horizontally centered. So we need to jump to that 960 media query. Okay, and okay, um, I think you there is this extra space that you see above and below the search form that's coming from the search form margin of 16 pixels at the top and bottom. So we can comment it out, right? Reload the page. Okay, so that's better. So now let's just inspect this and see what's going on. So, okay. So the site header widget area still has the float and text align set to right. We don't need that because we want things to be centered. So I'm gonna say float none, okay, and text align center and reload. Okay, and if you notice, the width also has been set to 100% from coming from line 1473 for the widget area. So I can just say width of auto. All right. So let's go inside. This is floating left, and this also is floating left. Okay. All right. Let's do one thing. Let's try giving this a margin 0 auto and see if it works. It doesn't work, so let's try display table. There you go. Now it works. So usually when things margin 0 auto does not work for block level elements, I just use display table as the last resort. It works sometimes. Um, so let's just make it margin 0 auto and display table. Okay. So now let's see what's happening here. So the top margin of 23 pixels for the site header search needs to be reduced so that it does not go uh, below the menu items. So I'm going to reduce the top margin here in Firebug. Check to say 15 looks okay, I guess. So copy that selector. Okay, save it. All right, so 960, we have set it. So let's keep going down. Let's reduce the width further. Okay, so at 500 is all right. 497 it's breaking down. So let's just keep it at 500 to keep things simple. So I'm going to create a new media query at 500 because it does not already exist. And I'm going to push it down and make it appear below the menu horizontally centered. So I'm going to, okay, so if you go here, the float is set to left for both of these widgets. So I'm going to remove that. All right. So here you can see that the text element is set to left for the site header search. So let's try setting it to center. Yep, that's better. So let's click on it and that comes up. That's fine. Okay, okay. Let's keep reducing the width. Let's keep reducing the width. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so after I do this responsive testing in Firefox, again I go to Chrome and then bring up the Chrome developer tools and then see how this looks in the device emulation. So I'm going to reload this. So right now I'm looking at Apple iPad landscape 1024 by 768 and clicking on it is fine. Okay, let's just reload. Okay, so at 768 this is really cutting off. That's not gonna work. So let's go back to Firefox and go to 768 and see how it looks. Yep, that's not good. So let's see where is the problem starting from. Okay, so 855 is fine, for example. Uh, okay, maybe 800. Okay, So at 800, it is, let's just test this by going to 801 or 802. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So at 800, something is happening. So let's jump to that 800 media query. Okay. Uh, okay, let's just click on that at 800. Okay, and then got to inspect that, right? So just say right click and then inspect with Firebug. Okay. Um, left 0. What happens if I do that? Okay. So let's just remove that left uh, 0 for that element search div at 800 pixels. So I'm going to set this to left auto. Okay, like, okay, reload. Yep, that's fine. So let's go back to Chrome and reload. Click on it, and that's fine. So let's now go to iPad. Oh, we're done with iPad. Let's just go to iPhone 6 and in landscape, reload. Okay, that's fine. Let's go to iPhone 6 in portrait. Click on it and it appears. So that's fine. Okay, so there you go. That's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye.